The growing evidence of lead's effects on condors recently prompted the operators of California's largest private hunting program to discontinue the use of lead ammunition. Tejon Ranch Company CEO Bob Stein proclaimed at a Los Angeles news conference, hunters will now be using lead-free ammunition when hunting on the 270,000-acre Tejon Ranch.
The single most important thing that we, as the largest landowner in the state, can do for the Condor is to take the lead on lead. And by that, what we're announcing today is that we're banning all lead ammunition on Tejon Ranch. This process will be implemented in the next coming months. We expect to have it fully implemented before the end of this year in 2007. Now, I want to make a couple things clear. One is that this is voluntary on our part as a private landowner, and it is not an anti-hunting measure. We want to assure all of those who enjoy the sport of hunting that this is not about hunting. This is about the recovery and the sustainable recovery of the California condor. One of the reasons it's taken us some time to get to this position is that we wanted to convince ourselves through our game management people that there were satisfactory alternative ammunition type of things for sport hunters to be using. We are now convinced that the technology has come to the point where there are alternatives to lead ammunition.
Representatives of fish and wildlife agencies and outdoor organizations hailed the step by Tejon Ranch.
We applaud and welcome the decision by the Tejon Ranch to ban the use of toxic lead ammunition in their hunting programs by later this year.
On behalf of NRDC's 1.2 million members and activists, I am very pleased to be here this afternoon to applaud the Tejon Ranch Company for its leadership on a ranch that is a cathedral for the California condor.
I think it's important to note that there's 100 years this June of history in this state of folks having to purchase a hunting license. The advent of hunting license in California across this nation was the basis to implement the modern wildlife management theories and premises that we've developed, which are constantly evolving. About 100 years of investment in conservation. Certainly, the hunting program on Tejon Ranch and their voluntary commitment to create an alternative to lead shot as a requirement, and their establishment on that 270,000 acres is going to go a long ways to getting that social and human dimension that always has to come with compliance that benefits the condor.
I'm convinced hunters will stand up here and join on and be a progressive part of conservation like they always have. And I'm really proud to be a hunter myself. And I want to tell you that the Fish and Wildlife Service really supports hunting. So again, this is not anti-hunting, it's pro-condor conservation.
On the issue of using non-lead ammunition, we've watched with interest for a number of years, attended a lot of meetings, kept up with what was going on research-wise with the interplay between lead, presumably from bullets, and the condor. We think there is an issue there, and we think this is the right solution. Earlier, 3, 4, 5 years ago, there wasn't as much alternative ammunition available, and that made it kind of difficult to try to make this kind of a move. But the development of new types of ammunition has continued throughout that time, and today we think there's enough out there to get going.
I guess you'd want to hope that the writing's on the wall with the research that's been done, but in order to say the writing's on the wall, you have to say that your message has been delivered. I don't think it has. I think that's what this is a part of. We have to get this information out here. We happened onto something that matters not just for condors, but for a lot of other species.
One of the important parts about today's announcement on removing lead from Tejon Ranch is that my grandchildren and their grandchildren, whether they're hunters or whether they enjoy the outdoors, that the legacy of the California condor will continue and continue in a very successful way.
The recovery of the California condor is a success story in the making. The hunter now has a significant role to play, Lead's impact on human health and our environment is a source for common sense changes in the way we pursue our sport. By using alternatives to lead ammunition, hunters can enhance the sport they enjoy by adding to their legacy as America's first conservationist.
We've had a father 2 years ago brought his son down to the release area after their successful hunt. They harvested a mule deer and then they came down to the release site and wanted to see the birds because they knew that they were helping in some way by shooting this non-lead ammunition, and they were tickled to death. I mean, it added to their experience to be able to see the condors, help the condors, and harvest a buck. So it doesn't get any better than that.
A presentation of the United States Fish and Wildlife Service National Conservation Training Center, providing leadership in learning to conserve fish, wildlife, and natural resources.